The Witcher is one of Netflix's biggest shows. The fans of the books love it, the gamers love it, and right now, everyone's waiting for the third season. But today, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the mini-series prequel, Blood Origin. That little post-credit snippet at the end of season 2 left fans with mixed emotions. Turns out, it wasn't only the fans. Apparently, the creators don't have their minds made up either. First up, they've changed the series a whole lot. You know what happens when a Netflix series becomes insanely popular. They milk the hell out of it, which, fair play, is good business. But it doesn't mean they're going to win each time. It looks like they might have missed the mark for the Witcher spinoff. So we all remember watching the teaser clip after season 2, and when the producers have a whole teaser prepared, it means they're done with the show, for the most part, right? Wrong. When this prequel series was first greenlit in 2020, it was supposed to have 6 episodes. Things were going fine. They had even finished shooting by November 2021. But just when the actors thought their jobs were done, they got called back for reshoots in April. Now the reshoots are done too, and it'll most probably come out around Christmas time this year. That's not even it. They've also cut a large chunk of the show, and now it'll only span 4 episodes. They haven't touched the first and the last episode. They're the same, but they've given the episodes in the middle a new makeover. And you know what? That's not ideal for a new show. It's not even out yet, and they're doubting it already and cutting it short. Maybe that's because they probably realized it didn't have the sauce they thought it had, and decided to make changes. We'll run that teaser trailer through the sauce meter in a minute. First, let's see what this show's all about. Okay, so what's all this then? Maybe you know this universe from the games, maybe you love it from the books, or maybe you've only watched the show. Whatever it is, you might have felt like The Witcher just pushed the audience right into all the complexities of its world. Like, what happened to, hello, how are you? Speaking of that, remember how confusing the different timelines were in the first season? If you didn't have to rewatch the whole thing to understand, you're a certified genius. So yeah, from the tone they set right from the beginning, they expected you to know most things in advance. And while some fans liked how they trusted the audience's intelligence, others weren't so happy about it. Then, the producers rolled up their sleeves to fix that. And now we have a prequel. Be careful what you wish for, folks. The main premise of this originally mini-series, and now a mini-series, was to cover the conjunction of the spheres, the event that brought all the dimensions and their species together to make the continent as we know it, and also the origin of the first ever Witcher. Now, all of that sounds kind of interesting, right? A little recap for those who know their Witcher lore, and an introduction for those who are just here for the show and would like to know more. Still, the first look at this show wasn't exactly well received. Moving on, fans didn't really like it. So, where do we even start? Let's just say, judging from the reaction online, that if YouTube hadn't removed the dislike button, this trailer would have given Justin Bieber's Baby a run for its money. Alright, time to bring out the sauce meter. First things first, Andrei Sapkowski's fantasy has a sacred place in fans' hearts. And unfortunately, from the looks of it, this new series has made it look very generic. There's this one still from the teaser that people have noticed looks like something out of a CW fantasy. Come on now, we don't have to be that harsh. But even if we let all that slide, the problem is that the fan-approved Witcher, Henry Cavill, won't be there as Geralt. Now, we know this is supposed to be the past, but still, people love this franchise because of the cast, and you can't expect to introduce a whole new bunch and expect the same reaction. Fine, even if we move past that, still, the song choice for the trailer just isn't it. Seriously, Ellie Goulding for a medieval fantasy with elves and dwarves and monsters? How can they expect the fans to be satisfied with anything less than Jaskier's immaculate compositions? Still, remember, it was mostly the book fans and the gamers that were the most offended by this series. It's time to cut the creators some slack here, because the fans of the show don't seem to mind it so much. After all, it's a rendition of Goulding's song, not the real thing. Also, maybe we'll still get some Jaskier classics in the show. Don't lose hope just yet. Yes, surprise, he's in there. Now, wait just a minute, there's still hope. The Netflix team has obviously received all the hate comments, and they know they need to calm down the angry fans, because why else would they alter a finished project? It looks like the critics had a point when they said they were afraid this series would be very different from the source material. This is because, from what we know so far, they've cut the stuff that felt unnecessary to the story. Now, why would anything written by Andrzej Sapkowski be redundant, huh? See, Netflix has a way of giving adaptations that special Netflix oomph, and while it works for some projects, for others, it just doesn't. This is the problem all fans have. Stop making all fantasy classics look the same. So hopefully, the reshoots were meant to bring the series closer to the source material. Also, they've tried to fix the lack of the OG cast as well. In the first version, our favorite dramatic bard and his lute weren't given a big part. Jaskier was only supposed to be there for a few moments toward the end, making it seem like he was telling this story to the people all along, and then an elf was supposed to correct his exaggerations. Because, of course, he exaggerated. Respect doesn't make history, remember? But after the edits and the reshoots, they've made him a permanent part of the entire series. Like, he'll be narrating the history through all episodes. And hey, we're not complaining. And while we're on the subject of the cast, let's take a moment to appreciate Michelle Yeoh, who's playing Skian, an elf with unmatched sword skills. Some people aren't happy with them casting an Asian actress for the role, but we're excited to see her because we know she's a queen. In fact, if any performance will lift up this series, it will be hers. Still, was a prequel really necessary? Let's say they make this miniseries really good, which, God, we hope they do, but are we just collectively going to ignore that we'll be getting a prequel for a show that's still very much alive and well? As we talked about before, it's not the idea of a prequel that we're against. It's just how blatant of a business stunt it is. Just because a show's been doing good doesn't mean we should be getting spin-offs right and left. At least, not while the original show is still running. Then again, all of this doesn't mean the miniseries won't do well. All fans, even those who have sworn not to watch it, will go back to get a glimpse of the Witcherverse no matter what. Whether they'll like it or not is another thing. Let's just hope that Michelle Yeoh, Joey Beatty, and the rest of the cast will work their magic. Listen, if House of Dragon has taught us anything, it's that the fans' anger has no integrity. If we can go back to that universe after season 8 of Game of Thrones, surely we can also watch a Witcher prequel with a questionable soundtrack. And finally, let's take a peek at The Witcher Season 3. Alright, where's the third season of The Witcher? Unfortunately, folks, the wait for the next season might be a long one yet. If you see the pattern of release of the first two seasons, they were both released in December, the first in 2019 and the second in 2021. But this December, we might very well be getting The Witcher Blood Origin. This means we'll get it in 2023. Let's just hope it's not towards the end of the next year. No matter when it comes out though, there's no doubt it will be worth the wait. We know the budget is huge this time. Also, Henry Cavill said they'll try not to divert too much from the book, which is great. The best thing about this will be that Geralt finally has a family, and he'll be protecting them from some serious danger. We can't wait to see the interactions between him, Yennefer, and Ciri. But let's be optimistic. The wait might be long, but at least we'll have the mini-series to binge watch this year. That's a wrap for this video. Are you excited about The Witcher Blood Origin, or will you sit this one out and just wait for the next season of the main series instead? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.